Hello, it's William at BBC Radio Lincolnshire here.
Hello, William.
Hi, Anita. Thanks for picking up the phone.
That's okay.
Give me a clue. I don't know anything. Give me a clue to where you are.
Okay, I am a nurse at St Barnabas.
Well, you've told me. That's not a clue. That's not a clue. You've told me everything.
Oh, right, okay. And I'm currently sat in their garden talking to you.
So is this the St Barnabas Hospice on Hawthorn Road in Lincoln?
No, this is the same organisation, but we are part of the Day Therapy and Hospice at Home service, and we're based on Hawthorn Road in Lincoln.
You're on... Right, okay, Hawthorn Road, so just off Bunkers Hill.
Bunkers Hill, yeah, on the road to Cherry.
Yeah, and you get to Hawthorn Road. Now, I was going to say, that is quite a big building. And so your day therapy and what else is based in that building?
So day therapy and hospice at home. So we, the hospice at home nurses, go to people's homes and provide end-of-life care. If a patient has decided that they want to die at home, then we facilitate that for them.
And a brilliant job as well. And
Thank
I know, because my mum was at home, and I know you or colleagues came in, and it was lovely. It was very nice.
Thank you.
So your role then? What's your role in this?
Okay, so I'm the clinical service manager, so I am a nurse, but I actually manage a team of nurses and some volunteers as well, because we rely really heavily on volunteers. So I'm very lucky that I get to look after quite a few of those, 40 of those, I think, within the day therapy and hospice at home sort of remit, really.
So what sort of roles do they have then?
Gosh, the volunteers are amazing. We couldn't manage without them. They do all sorts. They look after the garden that I'm sat in now. They meet and greet people when they come to Hawthorn Road. We always have somebody sat with the patients when they're waiting to go into therapies or assessments, making tea, just a friendly ear, really. They do lots and lots of groups, so art and craft. We have a drop-in tea morning on a Tuesday where people can come, have a chat, a bit of support. I think we do a knit and natter, all sorts of things. We couldn't, say, manage without them. There's always one on the reception desk.
So basically, all those events that we hear about that St Barnabas do, you've probably got volunteers in there somewhere.
Absolutely, yeah. The Bubble Rush, anything. I think the Bubble Rush was on last weekend, wasn't it? Everywhere St Barnabas is, there is a volunteer. We're always looking for volunteers. So.
Do you? And I'm just gonna generalise here and see if any of this is true or not. Do you find that some of the volunteers come forward after they have in some way been touched by St Barnabas?
Yes. Absolutely. I think quite a large proportion of our volunteers have been touched by St Barnabas in one way or another, yes, which is obviously an honour for us, really, because it means we've done a really good job and they want to come and give something back, which is a compliment, isn't it? And one that we don't take lightly. So
Yeah, no, that is nice, isn't it? How far? Because you do events all over the county. And you've got shops and charity shops all over the place as well. How far out does your service go?
Well, we're county-wide, so the whole of Lincolnshire. But my particular team, the one that we're based here in Lincoln, we sort of go as far as Grantham comes up. Sort of the villages the other side of Navenby, and then we've got Boston and Louth that sort of come from the coast inwards. So
that's huge.
So, yeah, massive, quite a big area. And when we go quite a long way up, sort of not quite as far as Curtin Lindsey, just this side. So quite high up north as well. And Gainsborough, we have quite a big presence in Gainsborough.
So are you based? If you have nurses going and doing home care, are they based out in some of those areas as well? They can't all be...
No, we have an office in Gainsborough, in Morton actually, the hospice at home team there, and we have just started with our day therapy girls go every week now. We used to go once a fortnight, but we go Tuesday one week and Wednesday the next week. I'm trying to remember the name of the road that the office is on. I can't remember. I know it's in Morton. So there's always somebody there. Obviously not such a large team, but always somebody there. And we have volunteers there as well. So we're having a launch day there. They've invested a bit more time and money to try and encourage more people to access our services. and that's in August, beginning of August. So keep an eye out for that, because that will be advertised soon.
Yeah, we'll watch out for that. What were you doing before getting involved in St Barnabas, Anita?
I was a district nurse.
And
in Lincoln City, so
and why? So you would have been working probably closely with St Barnabas, would you, at times?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Relied on them quite a lot because they have the luxury of more time and more specialist input. Really, as a district nurse, they're so very, very busy. You can't always be there all the time, and St Barnabas used to support me really as a district nurse, and I wouldn't have been without them.
So you thought at some point, well, actually,
yeah, I'll go and work for them. I really enjoyed the palliative part of my role as a district nurse, and I wanted to do that more really and specialise. I think as nurses we all find our niche, don't we? Something we find that we really want to do, and palliative care became mine. So
is it getting busier with the number of people that want to be at home in the final weeks?
I don't know really. I think there's more of an awareness that is an option for people really. I think traditionally people used to think that everybody would die in hospital or the hospice, but now people have a choice, don't they? They have more of a voice. It's more about what the patient wants, and we're all about listening to the patient and what's important to them, and if it's something that they want to happen, then why not? We can deliver that service at home, can't we? So.
And again, and it's difficult because I don't want to talk too personally, because the other members of the family will be listening. But I wonder how much of the work that you do is also not only looking after the patient at home, but also just being there for the family as well, because I think that is a big part of it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, we offer a holistic service, so that means that we give help and advice with pain and symptoms, but we also give psychological and emotional support and spiritual support for the family as well. We have a big team of wellbeing volunteers and complementary therapists, counselling services, and the family can access those as well as the patients. Sometimes people just want to sit and talk, and that's something that we can do. We can just sit and spend time with the family. It's hard sometimes to talk to your own family, isn't it? But if you see somebody different coming in the house, then that's something that we can definitely do. So.
Yeah, it must. I mean, it must be a really strange thing to be involved in all the time. To be going.
It's an honour. It's an honour. It's a very important part of somebody's life, isn't it? And we want to support people to live really well for as long as they possibly can. And if by going in we can offer support and help that, I think it's an honour to be invited into that part of somebody's life. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is, and it is something that we need to talk perhaps a bit more openly about, isn't it? About
Absolutely,
thinking, there was was it a few months ago, wasn't it? It's the Dying Matters Week, and there were events all over the county, and a big event down at the Waterside Shopping Centre in Lincoln as well, in basically inviting people to talk about the end of life and about what you think and about what you want, and have that conversation not only with yourself but also with members of your family. Yeah,
absolutely. Even though you may have this terminal or life-limiting illness, it doesn't mean that you're not still you, and that your opinions and your wishes don't count, and you need to communicate those, because there may be a point where you can't communicate those, and so the people around you that love you the most, that is one of the things that they can do for you. They can make sure that what you want to happen actually happens. So people really need to not be afraid of talking about it, because it comes to us all eventually. And why not take control of that part of your life like you do everything else? So very important.
You see, wise words from Anita.
Well,